So what? No time first.
Let me try to hear the class. Yeah, I can hear this.
All right. Shalom, Israel. Yahweh Bashem Yahshua B'Katham. Yahweh Shemar Thum Bashem Yahshua. Priest and officer Yediah. Hold it down this week for Captain of 13,000, Shapard and Posh. Now, Black man, Latino man, First Nation man, and woman. Tonight is the history class. Tonight we're going to go over some history. We're also going to go over World War III. You know, in the midst of I.S.U.P.K, where all the people talking about Jada Pinkett Smith and Will Smith and how diabolical she is and how effeminate Will Smith is, people forgetting that Vladimir Putin is still dropping bombs on the Ukraine. Like, we have to realize, man, that these things, you know what I mean, are what were prophesied about of old. And we have to understand, if I could, I'll give me what the Lord said, the second woe is past and the third coming quickly. Again, it's the I.S.U.P.K or the Commander General Yohanna. Tonight is the Thursday class. Make sure y'all tune in also to, the 12 show General Muhammad's class, the online class tonight. For those of you that's going to tune in tonight, the I.S.U.P.K Philly history class, make sure you put your questions in the chat. I'll be answering your questions tonight. Now, World War III. World War III is coming, and it's coming quickly. And the problem is, like, everybody in the world thinks, that with World War III, right, that everything, is going wrong. This isn't supposed to be happening. What is America going to do? Like, I had to catch my mother saying that. She was saying, oh, it's a terrible thing that's going on. I'm like, Mom, you don't understand that Christ prophesied about times like this. The Lord prophesied about what's going on right now, that's going on with the Russia and the Ukraine. And the thing is, and what all people need to realize, we cannot feel sympathetic towards the Russians or the Ukrainians. You want to feel sympathy for somebody, black man? Feel sympathy for that Latino man and woman that is suffering in the barrio, that are at the border right now, still locked in cages. Feel sympathy for that First Nation and Seminole Indian man and woman, man, on them concentration camps called reservations. That's who we need to have sympathy for, our own people, our brothers. We have to realize that these times right here, these times that we're in, were prophesied a very long time ago, and they are coming to pass. That's why the Lord said this. If I could, read what you got.
It's the book of Revelation, chapter 11 and verse 14. Mm-hmm. The second woe is past.
The second woe is past. What does woe mean? Woe meaning destruction. Meaning the second great destruction is past. What was the second great destruction? World War II. And the thing is, too, what our people need to understand, and which was significant about World War II, is that the oppressor, went to war against himself to save little white babies that was locked in cages and that was being persecuted by other devils. Right. We have to realize, man, World War III is going to be fought. You know what I mean? When all of these other nations come up against our king, a black man by the name of Yahweh Shah Mashiach, you know him as Jesus Christ. The second woe is past. World War II has passed. Read on.
It says, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly.
The third woe cometh quickly. The third woe is World War III, and it's coming quickly. It started, it's getting ready to get rocking and rolling. Y'all praying that Putin don't press the button. I pray Putin does. I want him to press that button. We all do. It's a story, right? And we went over Wednesday that Romania and other European countries, like Bulgaria and them obscure, Edomite countries, they're giving out iodine tablets. You know what iodine tablets are used for? It's supposed, to be medication that's supposed to protect you against radiation. Why would you need to take pills that are going to help you against radiation? Because Pooh Shiesty about to press the button. He about to press the button in America. They trying to hold off and just put sanction upon sanction. Don't you think eventually, right, that the United States is eventually going to have to step in? They already sent $300 million to the Ukraine, to help them, and and putting sanctions on Russia, making it hard for them. Don't you think Pusheisty going to turn his attention to America? Don't you think Vladimir Putin and Russia are going to turn their attention to America? And you better believe China is going to back them up. North Korea is going to back them up. That third woe is coming. And we cannot afford to be fearful and worry about who is going to defend us, who is going to protect us. America? Come on, black man, Latino man, First Nation man and woman, you know better than that. America does not give a damn about our people. As a matter of fact, let me explain something to all you out there, something that y'all probably did not know. They're trying to put propaganda out there that Vladimir Putin is the next Hitler, that he's the most evil man on the earth. Joe Biden is just as evil as Vladimir Putin.
Right.
So is Kamala Harris, who's not a black woman, who is a white woman. Her grandfather on her father's side was a white man, a white plantation owner over there in the West Indian Islands, man. She's not a black woman. All skin folk ain't kinfolk. I'm pretty sure y'all know that. Now understand this, with this third war that's coming, we have to understand, man, this was prophesied in the Bible. That's why the Lord told us. Let me get Leviticus 20 and verse 26. That's why the Lord told us that we have to separate, because separation is the key. Our people, I had a sister tell me, well, America, we have to align ourselves with them, because when Russia and China and all of these other nations come, who's going to protect me as a black woman? I was like, sis, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge is here to protect blacks, Latinos, and First Nation men and women. That's what you got to realize. There is a defense that the Lord put on this earth. The I.S.U.P.K. under Commander GEN.YAHANNA is the safe haven for all blacks, Latinos, and First Nation men and women. If you are really looking for a strong leader, black man, Latino man, First Nation man and woman, you got to look to Commander GEN.YAHANNA. That is the leader of blacks, Latinos, and First Nation men and women. He is under Christ. Got to understand this. And when our king returns, that is when blacks and Latinos and First Nation men are going to rule. Go ahead, Ashtawa.
Good. What's so heavy about that question is like, who's going to protect us if not America? It's like, America is the same place that has been purposely destroying blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans.
Right.
For over 400 years. So it's like, when you go to war with another country, they sitting here looking like, oh, well, we need the protection from the people that have been killing us. Like, we literally sheep in America.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And if I could too, what's also heavy about that is like the oppressor, like you always say, he has become our father. You understand what I'm saying? And he doesn't have to be a good father. Like once your mother kick your father out the house, and your real daddy get all the flack for him not being a good father. What about our oppressor and him taking care of us? He's done a terrible job of taking care of us.
Exactly, because it's not his job to take care of blacks, Latinos, and First Nation men and women. The scriptures say that the earth was given into the hand of the wicked. The wicked on the earth is the oppressor, the devil that the Bible speaks of. He is the wicked. And you're looking to him. Also, hold Lamentations 4:17. What you're saying is so heavy. We look to the oppressor to help us, to feed us, and to save us. And I have to use this analogy. If you're running away from the wolf and you find a fox, the fox is playful at first, but the fox is still looking at you like you food too. Either way, you asked out, black man, Latino man, First Nation man and woman. That's like you running from the king cobra and then you run into a python or an anaconda thing and they gonna protect you. They're all going to devour you. That's why this notion that somehow Joe Biden is more righteous than Putin is absurd. It's absurd. At least Pusheisty ain't got no picks. He doing it to his own people, which goes to show you that the oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of. But what really makes him the devil, what really makes him an evil, wicked monster, is that he does it to blacks and Latinos and First Nation men and women. We have Latino brothers and sisters right now trying to leave, the hellish conditions, that they were in over there in Mexico, because Mexico was not ran by the tribe of Issachar, the oppressor, the conquistador. They're the ones who really run it. They're the ones who run it. So they flee from those cartels and the hell that they face over there. And guess what they get when they come over here? They get met with M16s, and that happens. And that happens. If I could, you know how to share it to the what you could do.
Put it on the whole screen?
Yeah, put it and make me small. You know how to do that, right? So they can see it full screen. And this is something that they do to our people, man. That First Nation man and woman, and that Latino man and woman, this land, America, belongs to them. But what did they do? They unleashed a vicious form of biological warfare, giving them blankets and pillows filled with smallpox, and raped their men, women, and children, man, and put them on cargo slave ships. And they lynch us, black man, Latino man, to this very day. They found a sister in Baltimore 2 months ago, lynched. Understand this, man. They do this to our people because they don't give a damn. The fact is, as a matter of fact, give me Lamentations first. Let me get Lamentations 4 and 17 first. Because we look to them to protect us. The fact that the sisters are, you know what I mean, wondering who is our protection. And just to share a small story with everybody. This happened with me when I was in Hebrew Academy with my brothers. Big shout out to the class of 2022, man. We got one more day, the trials, man, for the blood of my brothers. We was out there marching, doing the marching challenge. And sisters was riding by in their vehicles, honking the horn and saying, "Right on, brothers." And Cat told us, man, like how, amazing that was. Because these sisters understood, man, that this is their protection. The I.S.U.P.K under command of GEN.YAHANNA was sent from the Most High. We are the protection of blacks, Latinos, and First Nation men and women. The scriptures say the weapons of our warfare are not carnal. We don't got to pick up guns, and go fight the oppressor that way. No, we do it by separating from him. That's why you got to come back and gird up your loins, black man, Latino man, First Nation man, and get in these classes and put on that all black and aspire to be a man of God, man. Join the trooper program. You know what I mean? And aspire to become an officer. Sister, stop being a goddamn evil, wicked bitch like Jada Pinkett Smith. So lock in for my language, man. You already wearing the head wraps and burning sage. Stop burning the sage and burn some frankincense and come in here and learn to be a righteous sister, man. You looking to your white daddy to protect you when he don't give a damn about us. And now I'm going to show you it in the scripture. Because you don't have to take my word for it. The Bible says to prove all things. Tell them where you at.
This is the book of Lamentations, chapter 4, verse 17.
Mm-hmm.
As for us, our eyes as yet failed for our vain help.
What does it mean where our eyes has yet failed for our vain help? Meaning we're looking towards other nations to help us and protect us when they don't give a damn. Big shout out to Captain Kazariak for smashing that Pan-Africanist Malik Zulu Shabazz. Let me tell you something. The problem is you're looking to the Africans. You're looking to Nanfutu, Ungala. And let me explain something to everybody that's out there because you probably don't know this. Africans hate black people.
Right.
They cannot stand us. You know why? Because we're not the same. Just because we have a darker skin tone, a darker hue, don't mean we're the same people. Arabs and these Indians got similar skin complexion. They got dark skin. Are they the same? No. Same thing, with a lot of the Samoans. You know what I mean? And other Japhites. Are we the same as them? No. All skin folk ain't kinfolk. Your brother is that Latino man and woman, black man. That First Nation man and woman is Seminole Indian man and woman. We look into Africa thinking Africa is going to help us when Africa has never given a damn about us, man. Africans sold black people to the white man and Arabs built the slave ships. That's in the Bible. The Lord said this in Deuteronomy 28 and 68, man. They are our enemies. You looking at Nfutu and Ngala, what's that Hamite's name? Shameful that they named that Hamite. Israel Adidanya. Talk about Joe Rogan is my nigga. What's up? And he ain't even a nigga, man. It's evil and disrespectful of him, man. Even had that name Israel. Israel means Yasha Allah, princes of the power. That Nigerian, that African ain't no prince of the power. He ain't no damn Israelite. Ask it. And because what Israel Adanya said and did, standing up for Joe Rogan, the devil that the Bible speaks of, the oppressor, talking about he my nigga, that shows you that Africans hate black people. Come on, man. Ari Spears said it best. Come on, Mr. White. Africans be like, Mr. White Man, thank you for bringing us here. Yeah, the white man. They love the oppressor. And you know what else? Africans don't get pulled over and dragged out their car and get knees put on their necks. The oppressor doesn't go in African homes and murder their women while they sleep. The oppressor did not go to a park and murder a 12-year-old African boy because he was African. But he murdered Tamir Rice because Tamir Rice was black, of the tribe of Judah. They murdered Sandra Bland, tribe of Judah. Murdered Mike Brown, Judah. Murdered Ramon Lopez, Issachar. Vanessa Gillian, sister from the tribe of Issachar, so-called Mexican, raped her, mutilated her body, cut her up, and buried her. The oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of. El hombre blanco es el diablo. You think they're our goddamn friends, and they are not. Our eyes fail for our vain help because you're looking to Africans, you're looking to Asians, you're looking to the oppressor to save you when that help is vain. Alexa, what is the definition of vain?
The adjective vain is usually defined as excessively proud of or concerned about one's own appearance, qualities, achievements, etc., conceited. For more, ask me to give you more definitions for vain.
That's good. The thing is, thank you. The thing is, what you got to realize, man, it's worthless. It's pointless because guess what? You're putting all of your faith and trust into them. You're putting all your eggs in the basket of these other nations when they could give a damn about us. Read on.
In our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us.
That could save us.
That could not save us.
Oh man, you know Nefutu's gonna help us.
That could not save us.
That could not save us. You can make me big again on the screen afterward. Now understand this, right? This is what you gotta realize. Watching for a nation that could not save us. They ain't gonna save us. Go ahead, Ash.
It's like if I could. What I wanted to bring out, you know what I'm saying, by putting that picture up there.
Oh, you can put it back up. Just make that smaller. You know what I mean?
Oh,
switch it up.
Come on. Well, what I was bringing out by even putting that up is just a fact. Just think about what you do. Like, you asking the person who did that to you to help you from somebody else. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, it don't make no damn sense. Like, you got to look at mass incarceration, and then you got to realize, okay, they the ones that you know what I'm saying, put us in prison. Number one in prison on the earth. Mm-hmm. The country, black people number one in prison. You could be a slave when you go back to jail. You see what I'm saying? So now you number one in prison, and you gonna ask them for help to save you from what? They the ones that's terrorizing you every day. They the ones destroying your family. They're the reason why your father not in the house. They're the reason your mother was on drugs, why your people is out selling drugs, acting fool, killing each other. You know what I'm saying? And you want to ask them same people, oh, who's going to protect us and not for America? America been not protecting you. Mm-hmm. If I could real quick, so like,
go ahead.
America's relationship to you is a slave-master relationship. You making them money. Mm-hmm. That's it. You don't want to kill your slave, but you don't want your slave to start thinking of you.
Right.
You want him to feel comfortable enough to be as efficient as he can be as far as the workforce goes. But besides that, you can give a damn less. And too many niggas free is a problem. That's why we're number one in jail. Oh,
that's a big problem. Listen, do me a favor. I'm not even gonna look this up. Google the Asian population in prisons. Just Google. Tell me what it says. And also, if you know, just East Indians, because they Asians too, Africans. And then tell me what the Black and Latino numbers are. I don't even got to look this up. I'm going to prove a point. Because there is a reason why they mass incarcerate that Latino man and woman. Why they mass, incarcerate that Black man and woman. Now, I will say this. The oppressor is in jail because he's the devil that the Bible speaks of.
That's right.
he going to be up there. He belongs under the jail. But why is it that the populations are dominated by Blacks and Latinos? I'm willing to wager that Asians hardly ever go to jail. That Africans hardly ever go to jail. That Arabs hardly ever go to jail. You got it, Ash?
I got the Asians.
Go ahead.
It says Asians were incarcerated in jails at a rate of 25 inmates per 100,000 U.S. Asian residents. The overall jail incarceration.
Read that again.
It says Asians were incarcerated in jail at a rate of 25 inmates per 100,000 Asians.
You mean to tell me, out of 100,000 Asians, only 25 of them went to jail? Is that what that's saying? So, do you understand how much 100,000 is? And only 25 of them went to jail? that had been Latinos, you could forget about it. Or that black man and woman, you could forget about it. You have to pull out a projector and show like, damn, that's a high percentage. There any more?
So like I'm getting the black numbers now.
Please, let me get them black or them Latino numbers.
It says this is for blacks. Both. At the end, at year end 2019, there were 1,096 black prisoners per 100,000 black residents.
Damn. There was how many blacks?
1,096.
Compared 1,096 compared to 25. Sounds like that there's an agenda to mass incarcerate blacks and Latinos, Ashtawa. 1,096 compared to 25. Why do you think that is? Why do you think that is? Why do you think they push every evil and wicked vice to blacks and Latinos and First Nation men and women, but not to Asians? Why did they somehow become the model minority? Like when Commander GEN.YAHANNA brought out that tape about how America made the Asians the model minority, that tape blew my mind, Ashtawat. Because subconsciously, I always knew he wasn't that smart. You're slow. You'll catch and eat anything that you can catch.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like even, you know what I mean, you being a Mongoloid, you know what I mean, being a product of incest, that's in the Bible because they are the seed of Moab, Mawa'aba in the Hebrew. When Lot's daughters GMS their father, raped their father, got him drunk, and then had their way with him, man. It was wicked what they did. You know what I mean? And they gave birth to Moab, who are the Chinese, and Ammon, who are the Japanese. And a lot of you Negroes love Japanese culture. Y'all do. I want to speak to y'all for 1 second. You want to absorb yourself into somebody else's identity and culture and forget who you are. That is, you know what I mean, our eyes failing for vain help and watching for a nation that cannot save us. Don't get me wrong. I like anime too. I know Ashtawak do. But goddamn, some of y'all Negroes act like it is your identity. Explain something to you. They don't give a damn about us. But Futu and Ngala don't care. The Asians don't care. And the oppressor don't give a damn. Read on, Ash.
It says 525 Hispanic prisoners per 100,000 Hispanic residents.
525 Hispanic. You see the problem? You see the problem? How are the Latinos number 2 to us? Why is that? Why is it that they're working on blacks and Latinos? Why are the oppressor working overtime to put blacks and Latinos in prison? Why? Because we're the children of Israel. Black man, Latino man, and woman. We're of the 12 tribes of Israel, Seminole Indian man and woman, First Nation man and woman. I didn't make this up. I was just curious. There any more of that?
It says, and 214 white prisoners per 100,000 white residents.
And guess what? Enough oppressors don't go to prison for what they do.
Right.
Let me just say that. You're quick to say, here's another thing too, that I cannot stand that our people say. You say, but what about the black on black crime? What about the Latino on Latino crime? That's something that we have to work on. But the reason why we have black on black crime and Latino on Latino crime is because of the oppressor. Because they encourage our people to kill each other. Who brings the guns in? Who brings the drugs in? The oppressor, they kill each other more than we do. Like the oppressor will kill you over the insurance money. Goddamn, Ash. Like he's always going to jail for something and getting away with damn near everything. What we have to realize is, as blacks and Latinos, that's an in-house family issue. When another nation attacks us, that is an act of war. And God is going to deal with these other nations. And I'm going to go into that too. Let's go back to Lamentations, Ashtawa. And Lamentations started 4 verse 18.
It says, they hunt our steps.
They what?
They hunt our steps.
They hunt our steps. What does it mean when it says they hunt our steps? I'll explain it. Right? You can't even jog in the wrong neighborhood. You can't. You can end up like a Mood Arbery. You can't play in the park with a toy gun if you're Tamir Rice. You can't be chilling in your crib if you're Sandra Bland or Breonna Taylor or Dante Wright or Botham Shem Jones. Like, my God, I can go on and on and on. Like Osh, you said something at camp that I still think about. Like, damn, you right. It's illegal to be black or Latino or First Nation if you're an American.
Right.
It is illegal to be an Israelite, man. The oppressor will kill you for it. They hunt. Go ahead, Osh.
If I could, the lynching sign's still up. And what you're bringing out so heavy, because even with the car situation and getting the gun license, what General Miami brought out and General Yohanna was bringing out, like you got the nigga version of the gun license. They shot and killed the brother when they asked him his weapon in the car. The brother said, "Yeah, I got a license to carry," and they shot the brother in the chest in front of his wife and his daughter.
And bled out. The oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of, man. Told him, you know what I mean? I have a license to carry. It's right here. And like, oh yeah, no sweat. Bang. While the oppressor can draw his weapon and fire at you, and you'll say, I don't want to kill him.
Right.
He's a lone wolf. Like every time. Go ahead.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. If I could, yeah, I just seen the video that blew my mind.
Uh-huh.
A she-devil stabbed Esau in the neck and took off running and hit that artery that you'll bleed out from in the neck.
Mm-hmm.
But he covered his hand over it. He ran her down while he was bleeding out and arrested her instead of shooting her in the back. Brothers have taken off running and got, it's another video with another brother. I forgot the brother's name that took off running.
Rashad Brooks.
For no reason. Mm-hmm. She stabbed him, hit his artery. If he didn't cover his neck, he would have bled out and died. He chased her while he was bleeding out. Mm-hmm. Caught her, put her down, and put handcuffs on her, and she still got arrested.
God damn. She'd been black. She'd been dead. Or Latino. You can forget about it, man. That's amazing.
Right.
Because the oppressor will protect his own. Why don't we love one another like that? Black man, Latino man, First Nation man and woman. We have to have that type of love for each other. Right. They hunt our steps, man. That's what they do. Like, look at what they did to Rashad Brooks. That brother was in his car parked because he was inebriated. He said, man, I'm going to take the keys out. I'm just going to go to sleep. That's not a crime. He wasn't driving. That didn't warrant Esau murdering him in cold blood. That didn't warrant that. But you know what's so dreadful about it? What's so dreadful is that our people need to realize, man, that could easily be us. That could easily be you. And there will be another. That's why you got to come back into this truth. They hunt our steps. Read on.
That we cannot go in our streets.
We cannot even go in our streets. Like, it is bananas to me that you cannot even sit in your home. Like, Botham Shem Jones was just in the crib eating ice cream, listening to music. Like, goddamn. And then the devil, Amber Geiger, came, banged on his door. When the brother opened it, she murdered him. And then that brother's mother and brother and sister hugged that devil. The black bailiff played with her hair, and the black judge went over there and gave her a hug. And you tell me we ain't got Stockholm Syndrome, man. You love the oppressor. He's the devil that the Bible speaks of. You won't give that love to another black man when you need to. That's why separation is important. Now, well, we got to realize we can't even go in our streets. Now, if I could, let me get Leviticus 20 and verse 26. This is why it's important, why we have to separate. Because if we don't separate, we're going to continue to be lost out here. A lot of you, and I know what the problem is, a lot of y'all think you're free, white, and 21. You do. You think you got the same rights as the oppressor. I was reading a story earlier, man, about it looked like it was a brother that was murdered by his devil rib, you know what I mean? And she stabbed him to death. And when they found her, she was screaming, threatening to kill herself, turn the knife on herself, and they put her in a hospital bed, and she's not even under arrest. And I'm like, well, goddamn. The man, you know what I mean? The brother is dead. Like, I think he's a brother. But here's the thing. The fact that they didn't even arrest her goes to show you something. Shows you something that's heavy. That we have to leave these other nations alone. I did in a previous class why we shouldn't intermarry. The Lord said in Deuteronomy 7:3, neither give thy daughters unto their sons, and neither take their sons for their daughters. You ain't supposed to do that. We ain't supposed to marry these heathens. Like, and we're so sad, like we think we gain, you know what I mean, acceptance by joining onto them. And you'll end up like Negroes like Michael Jordan, who got married to a devil and didn't have no niggas at his wedding. Crazy, right? He the only black face there. Can't do that. You sit up here, you in the NBA or the NFL, and you leave that sister that's been rocking with you since day one, and you go get Susan or Becky. It's a damn shame, man. That was the time to separate. You think joining arm in hand with them is going to do something, and it's not. The hell you look like saying no justice, no peace with the same devil that murders us, man. With the same devil that's murdering us. The same devils. The same ones that put their knees on our necks. The same ones that come in our homes and murder us in cold blood. And you want to make an excuse for them. Like, you got to stop being a Tom, black man. You got to stop being an Uncle Tom. You got to stop being a coon. You got to stop loving your oppressor. He does not love you. She does not love you. This is why the Lord said, I'm going to show you the separation is good, man. Because a lot of y'all think, oh, God loves everybody. God is for integration. That's a damn lie. And you could tell your pastor, tell your imam that a young officer in the Israelite school of I.S.U.P.K told you so. And I read it out the Bible. Read what you got, Ash.
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 20, and verse 26. And ye shall be holy unto me.
Now, when the Lord said, ye shall be holy unto me, I want you to understand something, right? The Lord says this. When he said, ye shall be holy unto me, holy means to be separate, set apart. Holy ain't your mama, your auntie, or your grandmama. It ain't my dear. Well, you know what I mean? With that hat, you know what I mean? With that crazy feathered hat on, it ain't her. It ain't your pastor, your imam with the white robe or gown on. Holy means set apart, separate. God is saying, black man, Latino man, First Nation man and woman, ye shall be separate unto me. Read them.
For I, the Lord, am holy.
For I, the Lord, am holy. Meaning God is separate. God is set apart. God don't love everybody. You mean to tell me, and this is what I don't understand, Oscar. Maybe you can help me. Maybe I can get some understanding. You mean to tell me, right, that the God of Israel, the nigga God of blacks, Latinos, and First Nation men and women. I gotta say it like that because when y'all talk about the God of this Bible, the God of this Bible is only the God of blacks, Latinos, and First Nation men and women. His name is Yahweh. He loves the same oppressors that murder us and rape us and rob us. Like, I'm confused. So, according to y'all doctrine, right? According to your simple, stupid mind, because you don't know nothing, God loves the same oppressors that murders us in cold blood, that will tie a rope around our necks and lynch us and make spectacles of us.
Right.
God loves him too? No. Stop being stupid. Stop being foolish. Like, you want to give your love to the goddamn Ukrainians, but guess what? 100,000 Ukrainians can cross the border of Mexico into Del Rio, Texas. But what about that Latino man and woman? What about that man and woman of the tribe of Issachar, the Mexicans? What about the Zabalawan, the Zebulon man and woman of Ecuador, of El Salvador, of Guatemala, of Panama? What about them? Oh, God don't love them. Nah, God does love that man and woman of the tribe of Issachar, the Mexican. God does love that Guatemalan and Panamanian, you know what I mean, and that brother and sister from Panama of the tribe of Zebulon, Zabalawan in the Hebrew. God loves us. Go ahead, Ush.
If I could, what you bringing out is so heavy. And when you put the nations on to understand, like, okay, our oppressor taught us about God, so-called, right, after slavery.
Mm-hmm.
He gave us his rendition of God and told us, God love everybody. But if you watch the oppressor shows you that he don't love everybody. So how can he tell you that God love everybody? Like, according to the oppressor, the only people that are deserving of love is other oppressors. He don't give a damn about the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. He don't give a damn about us. You know what I'm saying? He leave you out to dry, leave you out to die, hang you from a tree, steal your land, kill all your animals you can use for food, starve you to death.
I hate to cut you off, but you said something that was heavy. He don't even love his own people.
Right.
Like, everybody won't feel sorry, and I hope the sister Brittany Griner comes home. I hope Brittany Griner comes home. I do. I hope she stops smoking weed, and I hope she stops being a. Okay, right, say something I shouldn't say. I hope she comes back and gets a brother from the UPK. I hope she comes back and get Oshkosh. Leave the women alone.
Right.
if Pooh Shiesty is giving his own adults of the oppressors, right, of Gog and Magog 8 years in jail, and giving his own kids 3 years, you think he give a damn about your black ass? Slut, you in a nerd, bro. You think the oppressor give a damn about us if he gonna do that to himself?
Right.
Like, goddamn. Like, they bombed the Ammonites, the Japanese. Like, goddamn, they shadows is still over there in Okinawa right now. Goddamn. And we look at what he does, that's like lynching us, murdering us, raping us. That's another Tuesday. That's a regular Thursday for Bill, Bob, and Fred, and Ted McGillicuddy, and Tim, and Walt. It's a diabolical oppressor name, Ashtawa. Walt. It's a diabolical name. Trying to tell you, they smart. I watch that though.
Right.
It's a lot. Go ahead.
If I could, too, you know what I'm saying? This is the history class.
Mm-hmm.
And I would implore our people to go look into the history of America, of what they actually did to you. And that's part of their whole great mind game. They make you think Thanksgiving was a good celebration and a good day, even though they were celebrating and cutting off Native American heads and kicking them up the street. You got to understand, like, with this lynching, it wasn't just lynching. They stole millions of acres of your land and lynched you and ran you out of town after town over town. And you just forgot about it. Now you love our oppressor and want to kiss him in the mouth, and now he want to be your friend at work. What about, where's our land that we used to own that you ran us off of and gave to the white neighbors in the areas, or gave to the damn plant? You understand what I'm saying? What about the loss of life? He don't respect nobody's loss of life but his own people. 1 million of us could die.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? We could die in a flood, in Katrina. We could have a war going on in Haiti, and he don't give a damn about bringing you over here. He see blonde hair and blue eyes getting killed in the Ukraine, and his enemies. You probably bringing the Russians over here. The Ukrainians and the Russians are the same people. You see what I'm saying? You done brought the Russians over here for free.
They bringing over terrorists, Ashtawa.
Right, you bring the Russians. You bring the
Bring back rapists, murderers.
They brought the Arabs over. They brought the Ukrainians over. People you could go to war with, and you brought them over, and you won't let our Haitian brothers and sisters and our brothers and sisters of the Northern Kingdom that are in South America, you won't let them come over here, man. Our oppressor, the devil, if I can speak of, he hates you, man. And y'all, and they think it's us. They think we the hate group. Who did we lynch? How many white people have we lynched? Where's the footage of us lynching them, having them picnic, setting their body up?
I don't know where that's at.
Where that footage at?
We don't do that.
You see
And what's so heavy about what you bringing out, we don't do that. And we the hate group.
Right.
Your Christian church is the real cult.
Right.
First of all, you don't even know what cult means. Cult, you know what I mean? We cult leaders. This is our culture. The Bible is our culture for blacks and Latinos and First Nation men and women. What you think a cult actually means, that's the church.
Right.
That's your Muslim mosque. Where, all right, you're going to have to help me out. You're going to have to help me out with this. It's real witchcraft on what they do. You're praying to an oppressor Jesus. Right. You're praying and circling a rock 3 times, and you wonder why you're still dying. Right. You're still dying, black man, Latino man, First Nation man and woman, because you're not doing what God says to do. When the Lord said, "Ye shall be holy," meaning separate unto me. Read on.
And have severed you from other people.
What does it mean when the Lord said that he severed you from other people? What does that mean? What does that mean? I'll tell you this, man, what that means. Meaning the Lord wanted us to be separate from these heathens. Like if I was to sever my arm from my body, it's no longer attached. Meaning God saw us in the mix with these other nations and said, no, man, I have severed you from other people. Because here's the thing, right? What we got to realize and what's so heavy about that. Separation is good. Ashtawa, get me, right, in Genesis. Give me in Genesis, right, where, yeah, give me in Genesis where Joseph told us that we was going to go with that where they gave us the land of Goshen. Yeah, let me get that scripture. Let's drop this. The Lord said that you shall be holy unto me, separate unto me. For I, the Lord, am holy. Paraphrasing Leviticus 20 and verse 26. And have severed you from other people that ye should be mine. Why is that? Because we belong to God. We're not supposed to be frolicking and flourishing with these heathen nations. God did not want that to be so. Let me help you out. And I'm going to show you that separation is good. We were separated when we were in, as y'all would like to say, Kemet. Because we Cometians, we Egyptians. No, nigga, the Egyptians had us in slavery. They had us in slavery, black man, Latino man, First Nation man and woman. You got it? Go ahead, read what you got.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 46 and verse 31. And Joseph said unto his brothers and unto his father's house, I will go and show Pharaoh, and say unto him, my brethren and my father's house, which were in the land of Canaan, are come unto me, and the men are shepherds, for their trade hath been to feed cattle.
Now, give you a little backdrop on this. Joseph was wise. Joseph was wise, man. Let me tell you something. Joseph, you know what I mean, was one of the very first, like Commander GEN.YAHANNA was saying, like one of them very first hoteps. How interesting that everything great about these heathens, Ashtawa, came from black and Latino men. Because Joseph was the forefather of who? Joseph was the father of Ephraim and Manasseh, the Puerto Ricans and the Cubans. So you mean to tell me this brother was second to Pharaoh? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Judging, you know what I mean? Those like judging them Egyptians. And it's not uncommon because this has happened before. Daniel was in a similar situation when he was in Babylon. He was in a similar situation with Nebuchadnezzar and with Darius, you know what I mean, with the Persians and the Medes. But here's the thing. Joseph and Daniel did not compromise. They chose the Lord, and they were for their people and their people only. Joseph is getting ready to give us game. Like, listen, man, I'm gonna go to Pharaoh and say that you know what I mean, you sheep herders and shepherds. Why? Because that was a low-class job. A low-class job in Egypt. Like today, think of that as working out there in the fields. Like a lot what our Isupk brothers do now. Or we do in those hotels. Or being a custodian, you know what I mean, a janitor. You know what I mean? That's a low-level entry job. That's frowned upon here in America. And it was frowned upon in Egypt. Because America is spiritually Egypt and Sodom. Read on.
And the men are shepherds, for their trade hath been to feed cattle. Mm-hmm. And they have brought their flocks and their herds and all that they had. And it shall come to pass, when Pharaoh shall call you and shall say, what is your occupation? Mm-hmm. That ye shall say, thy servant's trade have been about cattle from our youth even until now. Mm-hmm. Both we and also our fathers. Mm-hmm. That ye may dwell in the land of Goshen.
That ye may dwell where?
In the land of Goshen.
That we may dwell in the land of Goshen. Meaning we were separated from the Egyptians and we were allowed to grow. We grew as a people. We came in there, 70 deep? And became great and exceeded. We multiplied, man. To the point where after Joseph died, like it says in Exodus, the first chapter, you know what I mean? The Egyptians said, we got to deal wisely with them. We can't let them grow. Right. That's what makes the Passover so magnificent, so beautiful, man. Because we got to realize this. And for you simple, conscious community cats, I have to break it down for you simply. We were separated from them in the land of Goshen because the Lord did not want us together with the Egyptians. Right. And the Egyptians started to oppress us. Like, I need you to understand something. These Africans got together and said, yo, these niggas are multiplying. They keep having kids, even though we're making their jobs harder every day with brick and mortar and the whip. You know what we can do? Let's enforce a form of birth control that America applies to this day. Right. Abortions. Africans decided to take our Black and Latino and First Nation babies and throw them in the Nile to be eaten by crocodiles. And you want to be African. That's why God said, oh yeah, no sweat, watch this. Plague after plague after plague. And then the big one came, where the Lord remembered what you did to our people. The Lord heard the affliction of Blacks and Latinos and First Nation men and women and told us, Go in y'all cribs, put that lamb's blood up. I'm about to send the death angel to pass over you. Hey man, it's a black and Latino book, man. The Lord had bars too. I understand. Passed over us and smoked and killed the firstborn of all them stinking Africans, man. Go ahead, Ash.
If I could too, was heavy about what you're saying right now, right? And dealing with this conscious community. The conscious community always say the celebration of the death of the Egyptians. But they're not looking at all the hell that the Egyptians put us through, including throwing our babies into the river to the damn alligators. And when Moses went to Pharaoh, it wasn't even like necessarily about that. He like, look, let us get this couple of days for us to go worship our God. That still probably was going on. And we still was working and enslaving and all that. Let us get a couple of days to go worship our God. Nope. Y'all gotta go to work. You see what I'm saying? And they forget about the evil the Egyptians did to us. So like, I feel like, Salaki, I ain't even gonna say I feel like, this is what it is. I'm gonna use a lot of analogy. This is what it is. You might as well not say nothing to our oppressor right now for the abortions and the lynchings and the killers if you can't understand it for this.
I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that. That's the same thing. You go to the oppressor to say, I need time off for the Passover. They'd be like, oh, you need more work. That's the same thing that Pharaoh told Moses.
Right.
They look at us like, oh, you got too much time on your hand. You're supposed to be making my kingdom great. Like, y'all don't understand what I'm saying? That this is what's going on to this very day. Go to your slave master and ask for a couple of days off. I went to the oppressor, Ashtawak. He was like, I don't know. Nobody gets off that week. I said, I already have a letter ready. I have a letter ready. Try me. I'm going to Cocoa, Florida. And I'm going to celebrate the Lord's Passover, the only Passover in Barakatayah Wayawashad. Understand this, man. It ain't no fake Israelite gathering in a strip club. I know what y'all niggas do. It ain't y'all paying $5,000 to masquerade in purple and have an African rape your wife and kill her and bury her. Because that's what goes on in your organizations. No. This is the Lord's Passover that we are going to observe. Go ahead, Ash.
If I could, to finish, like, they don't see the African oppression, but they supposedly see Esau's oppression.
Right.
They love for the other people that got the brown skin and the kingdom and all that, said the third, like, they were cruel people too. Like, you act like they didn't.
Right.
They didn't do anything to anybody. No, they were oppressing us, which is why their firstborn had to die. What you want to happen to the oppressor? You want God to put vengeance on him, or whatever you want to put vengeance on him, but you didn't want it on them Africans? To me, it seems like they got a love for skin color versus actually who their nation is. A lot.
And that's a problem because colorism still plagues us to this day. Because you'll look at the Latino man and woman and say, that's not my brother. You ain't my brother. You a Latino. But you love the white man. You love the oppressor, who is the devil that the Bible speaks of. You love Nunfutu and Nangala and the Black Panther, but they hate us. They sold us into slavery. They don't give a damn about it. They got a word for us, man. It's called akata. What akata means? Cotton picker. We are not the same. You know how many times I've been on Clubhouse and Africans would say, you always come for Africans, you 50 nigga. You do. This is why we sold you. I'm like, that's the real spirit. Y'all don't mess with us. Y'all come over here from Somalia, Nigeria, and Ghana, stinking up everything. Like, god damn, man. Smell like rhinoceros residue and giraffe water. Like, they smell horrible. And they customs and what they do, come on, sis. Y'all love to give us flack and say, no, you ain't supposed to have more than one wife. When Africans do that. Right. Africans have more than one wife. And they filthy. They stinky. They stank, Ashtuak. Right. And they got more than one real, like, goddamn. And they cut and mutilate themselves, putting bowls in their noses and ears and mouths, doing the voodoo. I saw 6 African women cut open a cow and roll around in its feces. I said, Lord, we are not these people. I thank the Lord every day that I'm not an African, man. Like, I thank the Most High. Barakatayah Wayawashad, man. Most High Christ. We are not Africans, Ashtawaka. That's a rough one. That's a rough one. We are not the same as them, man. And what we have to realize, that's why the Lord told, that's why Joseph was so wise. He said, man, we about to go dwell in the land of Goshen. Meaning the Lord wanted us separate from the Africans. And everything great about Africa, so-called Africa, we made it great. Because when we fled from, you know what I mean, the Romans, where 1 million of us fled into Africa, you know what the Africans were doing? Being real savages. Killing each other, eating each other. Like, come on now. Like, if you an albino, like, if you an albino Israelite, you can come to class and be Tawab. You cool. You know what I mean? You good. If you are albino African, they are going to put you in the pot, eat you, and then spread your ashes over their body and do a crazy dance. Do the fufu. And y'all wonder after what? And you wonder why that shit $5. So I give it a language. You wonder why it's $5. You eating the remains of an albino African man. Woman. Good night. But that is the thing. That's why the Lord wants us to be separate. That's why these things have to happen. And what are a lot of these things that are going on? The thing is, too, like what I really believe it is, if I could, let me get Proverbs 3 and 31. The thing is, you envy the oppressor and these Africans and what they have. And I can't understand that for this reason. We're not supposed to look at what these heathens have or what the oppressor have and say, I have to live like that. We can't do that. We can't do that as God's chosen people. And I'm going to tell you why. Let me get Proverbs 3 and verse 31. Also, I'm going to say it again. Y'all got any questions, type them in. I'll be answering y'all questions tonight. But let me get Proverbs 3 and verse 31.
If I could, real quick.
Go ahead, Ash.
What you just brought out was so heavy. They like to pick their favorite part of Africa. Their favorite part, which is Egypt and certain other old civilizations. They forget about that. Like, I sat here and watched Esau. Like, to see Esau repost is always funny to me. I'm like, yeah, Esau find it disgusting. That means it's really disgusting. I watched Esau running around with a bunch of Africans hunting baboons. And the Africans was like, yeah, the baboon, the butt is the best part. And Esau was disgusted looking at the Africans like, what the hell is going on here? I'm not eating it. You know what I'm saying? Like they hunting, they eating baboon meat. Are we the baboon meat eating Africans? We the plate that live Africans. We the let the cow piss on your head Africans. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all, like our people, like it's a lot.
They done lost their damn minds after a while. You eating baboon booty meat. Go ahead, Ash.
If I could, you eating an albino person. Like I just queued a video up just to see like. Cause I think they don't be believing us when we be telling them.
Oh, please play that video. I'm not making this up. They eat albinos. They eat their own people. Y'all think I'm making this up? No. That is a custom. Me and Ibad, right, was watching this video about like some of the exotic things that they eat. They was bringing in cheetahs and snakes and other crazy looking animals that I ain't never seen before, but I know for a fact that they ain't lawful. Right. And they started eating them. And Ibad Hayal is stone. If any of y'all that know our brother, that brother is stone faced. He said, sir, this is unsettling. Right. He said, I can't watch this. It's rough. But go ahead and play it. You shared the sound too, right?
Come on.
All right, most of the time, play the video so they can see. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man.
Rural district of northern Tanzania. A 28-year-old woman has to be fed by her own mother. She can do nothing to help her 3-year-old son.
Damn!
So like, you gotta see what's going on. So like, I just look down. I'm disturbed. It's not funny. So like, this is terrible. We need to save half from their damn self.
God damn! After what?
Like, we found the video right here.
Go ahead. Start that from the beginning. I was just listening to the audio like, damn. This is in Tanzania. Y'all want to big up Egypt and everywhere else. Let's talk about Tanzania.
Recently, they have begun living in terror. Rumors about their magical powers are having deadly consequences.
Pause that. Africans believe, right, Africans believe that if they eat albinos, they get magical powers. Like black man, Latino man and woman, First Nation man and woman, you got to put the weed down. You think you about to become, a Super Saiyan? You getting ready? They think they about to eat a double fruit after a while. Good night. Keep
They
playing.
began living in terror. Rumors about their magical powers are having deadly consequences.
In a remote rural district of northern Tanzania,
It's better if I put it in with the cable because now this one gonna stay still if I catch.
Con, put it on with the cable. Put it on with the cable. I don't gotta see it. You can just play it on the audio. I can just listen to the audio.
Well,
you know what I mean?
If I could, I just want you to see what's going on because the reason why she cannot feed her 3-year-old is because they ate her hands already. Salaki, that's what's happening right now. They ate her hands already.
Damn! They ate her hands.
a 28-year-old woman has to be fed by her own mother.
They ate her hands. God damn.
She is a victim of a brutal assault, targeted because she's an albino. She lacks pigmentation in her skin, eyes, and hair.
Damn.
Attacks like this have been multiplying.
The core of this is not about poverty fundamental. It's about witchcraft, it's about evil, it's about control.
Damn.
A year ago,
Ate that Hamite girl's hands.
Peter Ash, an albino himself, read about the attacks.
I cried myself to sleep. First day I spent hearing the stories.
Damn.
I couldn't believe it.
Ate their hands. Good night. Using it for potions. How come y'all don't want to do that? They Africans.
Right.
We got to big up Africa, right? We got to become free. That's what we got to do, actually. You know what's going to save black people? We got to find albinos, and that's going to give us magical power where we get to become the X-Men and save ourselves from the oppressor. I've seen enough of this. I can't watch no more of that. That's why, Isupk, hold this. Give me the scripture where the Lord said that, you know what I mean? When the righteous bear authority, the people rejoice. When the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. Because here's the thing, the devil's sitting there with a goddamn camera. Like, goddamn. Goes to show you, man. This is why, as blacks, Latinos, and First Nation men and women, you got to realize you are not Africans. We ain't Africans. We not. We are not those people. We ain't going around here, you know what I mean? we not going around there, you know what I mean, looking to devour Hamites. Hold on, select. Shalom, sir, Lord of Christ. Salaki, sir. I'm teaching a class here in Philadelphia, sir. Salaki. If I could, you might want to hit up Officer Barzol or Malaki. If not, I'm pretty sure Officer Marag could probably do it. I got the bar, sir. Shalom, sir. Lord of Christ. Yeah, but like Ash, and that's insane. Like, do we go around and do that to our albino brothers that are Israelites? No. You know, when our people, when Israelites would get leprosy, you was unclean. You couldn't come in the congregation. But guess what? Because of Christ, now you can come in. And even back then when you wasn't to come in, we wasn't hunting you down and killing you and eating your hands and your body and thinking that was going to give us magical powers. That right there, right, shows you why African spirituality and all of that is garbage. And why we got to turn back to the God of Israel and turn back to this Bible. You got what I asked for?
The book of Proverbs, chapter 29, and verse 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice.
When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. You can, that's why I'm making my screen full screen again. Yeah, so that's when the righteous bear authority, the people rejoice. All of the earth is going to rejoice when Black and Latino and First Nation men are in charge. Because you know what's going to happen when Black and Latino men are going to rule the earth under Christ? Nobody is going to be eating shrimp, crab, pork, or lobster. The ocean is going to be so clear, you're going to be able to see your reflection. The air is not going to be polluted. You're not going to be able to sell your children into sex, you know what I mean, to sex work, you know what I mean, and go ahead and sell drugs and do drugs. No, because when Black and Latino and First Nation men rule under Christ, the entire earth is going to rejoice. Go ahead, Ash.
You're not gonna be able to run down a pregnant woman and eat her hands off because she albino.
Right, you ain't going to be able to do that neither. You ain't going to be able to do that. You ain't going to be able to run down on some pregnant woman, you know what I mean, her hands because she albino. You ain't going to be able to do that in Christ's kingdom. Read on.
It's a lot.
Go ahead.
If I could, that Ham might never held her kids with her hand. Or she couldn't even feed her damn son. Like, it's a lot. Our conscious community people that love Africa, y'all got some explaining to do. Y'all keep trying to bring the Bible up on trial about Brother David and this brother had a homosexual relationship and whatever little nonsense.
I don't want to cut you off, but I'm pretty sure the Africans that ate her hands are still at large.
Right.
they in the trial. They in the trial. they saving the rest for later. Like, God damn. Like, go ahead. Let me stop. Go ahead.
Like they try to find and nitpick stuff that's in the Bible. You can go to Africa right now and ask them, why y'all eating albino people? Why y'all eating people, period? Because they did another thing where they searched the truck and found chopped up human body parts. What like, it's a lot. I don't understand. It's blowing my mind. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I'd rather be with them niggas that say we Native American. We already said it. I'd rather be with them niggas than be with the Africans. It's a lot.
Exactly. I'd rather be with them crazy niggas on the corner, man.
Right.
Than the UPK or the Commander GEN.YAHANNA. That's who I'd rather be with. You can go over there and hang out with Futu if you want to.
Right.
I'm trying to tell you, man, you wonder why that fufu is so cheap. I'm trying to tell you, it's albino potions in that. Read on.
But when the wicked bear rule,
when the wicked bear rule, when the unrighteous bear rule, read on.
The people mourn.
The people mourn. Meaning the oppressor cannot govern the earth. Africans cannot govern themselves.
Right.
Asians cannot govern themselves. The entire earth needs our King, Yahweh Shah, Mashiach, to rule. We're supposed to be the stamp. We're supposed to be the example of morality. Black man, Latino man, First Nation man and woman. We're the standard of morality. Also, give me the scripture where they said this is a wise and understanding nation of people. You know where that's at? You know what I'm talking about? Let me get that too. Because that's us. That's who we're supposed to be. These other nations are supposed to look at us and say, surely God is with them. But now we are the laughing stock. We are a byword to these heathens now, man. We're a byword to them now. But guess what? It's going to come a time, man, where the entire earth is going to look up to a black man by the name of Yahweh Shah, Mashiach. The entire earth is going to understand that Black and Latino and First Nation men are going to rule the earth under Christ. Want to know why? Because our God said so. You got what I asked for?
Will come. The book of Deuteronomy chapter 4 verse 5. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments.
The Lord taught us statutes and judgments, man. The Lord gave us laws, statutes, and commandments. He ain't give it to everybody. He ain't give it to these heathens, man. He gave it to our people. We know better here in the UPK. We don't go out there and cut up our brothers and sisters, man, that have leprosy, that's albino, and eat their hands. That's unlawful. Right. The Lord gave us statutes and judgments, gave us the law. Read on.
Even as the Lord my God commanded me, that ye should do so in the land whither you go to possess it.
We were supposed to be doing this in Israel, man, the land that we were supposed to go and possess. Meaning, I ain't gonna jump ahead. Go ahead, read on.
Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding.
This is our wisdom and our understanding. This is our wisdom and understanding. This Bible, and that's what you don't understand. You're looking to Kemet, you're looking to the Asians, you're looking to the oppressor and their mythology and their dogma. when this Bible holds our records, man. This Bible holds our truth of the Most High. Read on.
Your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations.
In sight of who?
The nations.
In sight of the nations. Meaning this Bible, man, and these laws, statutes, and commandments that our God gave to blacks and Latinos and First Nation men and women, this was supposed to be our wisdom and understanding in sight of the nations. They're supposed to look up to us. We're supposed to be looking at them like they're great, like they're an amazing people, that they're the standard of morality. You want to give your credence to Africa so bad, but you only choose which is glamorous of Africa.
Right.
You ain't going to the real Africa. They eat people in the real Africa after a while.
Right.
And they mess with animals.
Right.
I know what they be doing with them sheep and them chickens. It's a damn shame. The shame with the chicken after a while. God damn. Read them.
So like, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people.
They supposed to be looking at us and saying, surely this great nation, surely these blacks, Latinos, and First Nation men and women, the children of Israel, the real Jews and Israelites of antiquity, meaning this, they're supposed to look at us and say, this is a wise and understanding nation, man. That's how they're supposed to be looking at us. But instead, we look at them.
Right.
That's why the Lord said this. Go back to Proverbs 3 and verse 31.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 3 and verse 31. Envy thou not the oppressor.
The Lord said, envy thou not the oppressor. Meaning, do not envy the oppressor. Don't envy, our slave master. Don't envy these other nations, because we cannot live like them. We cannot conduct ourselves in the manner that they do. And guess what? These other nations hate us. How do you know it? They show us by their actions. Right. Africans show us that they hate black people. The oppressor shows that he hates black and Latino men and women. They already shown our First Nation and Seminole Indian brothers and sisters, man, by stealing their land and destroying and raping them and putting them on concentration camps. What more do you need to understand? The Lord is telling us here, Proverbs 3 and verse 31, envy thou not the oppressor. Read on.
And choose none of his ways.
And choose none of his ways. We ain't supposed to do nothing that the oppressor does. We ain't supposed to do nothing that they deem, fit. We can't live like that. We can't do what they do. And that's been our detriment from the beginning. That's why the Lord said, envy thou not the oppressor and choose none of his ways. And while we're on the topic, right, let me get Exodus 11 and 7. Because this is the dagger for everybody that wants to give their credence, to Africa and talk about how great they are. There is a difference between us and the Hamites, man. There is a big difference between us, and I'm going to go into it. Also, before you read that, right, while I'm on the topic, give me in the Zondervan, it's right there. Give me a hand. Give you the dagger and show you that we're not the same as these damn Africans, man. Give me a hand. In the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary. We did not write this. Those in the Zondervan College, we did not write this. These are oppressors that wrote this. And let's see what they said.
Reading that?
Yeah, you can read it.
Ham, the youngest son of Noah.
Ham, the youngest son of Noah. Read on.
Born probably about 96 years before the flood.
Noah had 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And Ham was the youngest son. Born about 96 years before the flood. Read on.
And one of 8 persons who lived through the flood.
He's one of 8 persons to live through the flood. Read on.
He became the progenitor of the dark races.
Ham became the progenitor of the dark races. Meaning Ham is the father of the dark races of people. So does that mean he's the father of Negroes, so-called black man and woman, the Haitian man and woman, the West Indian man and woman of Guyana, of Jamaica, Trinidad and Tobago, of St. Lucia?
Not the Negroes.
Not who?
Not the Negroes.
Not niggas. Not the Negroes. Ham is not our forefather because we are of the lineage of Shem.
Right.
That's why when the oppressor likes to say, you're anti-Semitic, it's really Shemitic. When the oppressor is anti-Shemitic, man, he's an anti-Semite. The real Jews of antiquity is that black man and woman, and that First Nation man and woman, and that Latino man and woman. We don't come from the lineage of Ham, man. That's why this is the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary. Tell them what page it is.
This is the Compact Bible Dictionary definition for Ham, page 213.
Mm-hmm. Not the who?
Not the Negroes.
Not the Negroes, meaning not niggas, not black people. Read on.
But the Egyptians.
But the Egyptians, Mizraim, you know what I mean, in the Bible, Matazarium in the Hebrew. The real Egyptians today, to give you us a little history, right? The real Egyptians are those Africans that are in the Sudan.
Right.
That in the Sudan of the north and south, that they divided it now. Those are the real Egyptians.
That's right.
Read on.
Ethiopians.
The Ethiopians, Haile Selassie. Understand this. Haile Selassie was not of the lineage of Solomon. Haile Selassie was an Ethiopian who was Cush. You know what I mean? In the Bible and in the Hebrew, man. Cush. That's their lineage, man. Haile Selassie wasn't of the lineage of Solomon. Solomon did not have sex with the queen of Sheba. You know what I mean? Sheba, who came from Cush, who would be an Ethiopian. You know what I mean? Those Falasha Jews kill me. You're not a real Jew. You're just like the oppressor. You're a perpetrator and a fraud, man.
That's right.
And Futu ain't no damn Jew. The real Jews are the black man and woman in these ghettos. That First Nation man and woman on that reservation, that concentration camp, and that Latino man and woman in that barrio. We're the real Jews. The Egyptians, who is Mizraim, Matazarium, the Ethiopians, who are Cush. Now understand this too. Nipsey Hussle also was an Ethiopian. You know what I mean? The Ethiopians and the Eritreans, they are not Israelites. So for all of you silly Negroes that was crying for Nipsey, Nipsey was a damn African, a Hamite. He was a Cush. He was not our people. Read on.
Libyans.
The Libyans. Who are the Libyans? Muammar Gaddafi. You know what I mean? Up there in northern Africa. I hear y'all. I got that real Islam. I'm a Moor. Islam Moor. Salami, eggs, and bacon. Understand? You and the Libyans, man, the North Africans, they are, you know what I mean, not the children of God. They are the children of Ham. Read on.
And Canaanites.
And the Canaanites. The Canaanites also are not the children of God, man. Who are the Canaanites today? The so-called Canaanites today are the South Africans. That is who they are. They are not our people. So you got to stop telling this myth, man, that we African. We not the same as them. We are not. We move different and we smell different. Read on. Go ahead, Ashton.
If I could, too, what's so heavy about this, I remember, you know what I'm saying, but even before I came into the school and just hearing brothers bring this out of how, like, they got a definition for Ham, right? And I seen, like, they were saying that black people was Hamites. Like, the oppressor was telling their people that we was Hamites, we was Ham. And it was like, for it to be in the Compact Bible Dictionary, it don't have nothing to do with us. It's just something that we brothers probably
we ain't part of the Zondervan.
It's a not the Negroes.
Not the Negroes. And who are the Negroes?
Right.
Like the oppressor telling on himself. Lord preserve these records, man. That's why in the oppressor, they know who we are. The Africans know who we are. The Asians and the Arabs know who we are when we're the real Jews, man. Now let me get Exodus 11 and verse 7. This is the dagger to that, right? To tell you that we're not Africans. And it's straight off my topic a little bit, you know what I mean? But I'm good we jumped on this. Because a lot of our people don't understand, man, that we are not those people.
Right.
We're not. And I'm sick and tired. Like, the fact that we got to break this down to our people. Like, you want to be African so bad, but what have they done for us?
Right.
Nothing. When the Chinese were beating the hell out of every Ugandan in China, the Congo of Uganda did this. They airlifted every African out of China. I said, damn, man, Africans love one another.
Right.
But if we African, when they going to airlift us out of America? It ain't going to happen because Africans understand that we are not their people. And God said this too. Let me get Exodus 11 and verse 7, Bob Kushaw.
But against any of the children of Israel.
We're in the book of Exodus, chapter 11 and verse 7. Read on.
shall not a dog move his tongue.
Now, but against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue. Meaning nobody is going to be able to speak or say this. You know what I mean? You will all understand this. Everybody on the earth is going to understand this that I.S.U.P.K is getting ready to read. Read on.
Against man or beast.
Against man or beast. Read on. Everybody is going to know this fact. Read on.
That ye may know how that the Lord doeth put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel.
The Lord put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel. There is a difference between Israelites and Egyptians. Right. Meaning the Israelites are blacks, Latinos, and First Nation men and women, and the Egyptians are Africans. God put a difference between us. I pray you understand. That difference is that the Egyptians, the Africans, were oppressing us in Egypt. And the Lord smote Egypt with different plagues for each day of the week. And then the big one was when the death angel passed over us, man. And we got delivered out of Egypt, out of the hand of our enemies, man. And that's why we celebrate the Lord's Passover, man. I hope to see every black, Latino, and First Nation man and woman and child in Cocoa Beach, Florida, man. We're going to be doing it up on the beach this year, man. Now, if I could, which is so important, right? We got to gear up for this. Because things are getting worse by the day. This is why the Lord told us this. Give me Micah 2 and 10, Bubble Show. Micah chapter 2 and verse 10. Like, this is why it's important to take our mind out of America. We got to realize that, we can't be Americans. It's like when we was in Babylon, was we thinking we was Babylonians? No. Daniel and Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego knew, we got to get up out of Babylon. We're going to do it. We are oppressed. Like, we understood that with the Persians and the Medes. We understood it with the Greeks and the Romans. Like, we are oppressed. But some of you, man, like Christ said, you of your father, the devil, the lust of your father ye will do. For he was a liar from the beginning and abode not in the truth, because the truth is not in him. Who is the devil? The oppressor. Because devil means deceiver. That's all devil means, man. Who's the biggest liar and deceiver on this planet? It's the oppressor. Read what I asked for.
The book of Micah chapter 2 and verse 10. Arise ye and depart.
Arise ye and depart. What does it mean when the Lord said, arise thee and depart? I'll tell you. When the Lord says, arise ye and depart, meaning now is the time to roll out. Now is the time to get up out of America. The Lord is saying, arise ye and depart. Read on. And when he says arise ye and depart, the Lord ain't saying get on a boat and go to Zimbabwe. The Lord is not saying get on a plane and go to Egypt. No. Take your mind out of America. Take your mind away from Babylon, the great whore, these other nations, and put it back on the Most High. And do what our King said to do. Like, I need you to understand, Christ did not die so you can continue to be a homosexual like the oppressor. Like, Christ did not die so you can continue to be a murderer and a liar. Christ died so you can change, black man, Latino man, First Nation man and woman. Read on. Let's read on.
For this is not your rest.
For this is not your rest. How the hell are we going to get rest when they murdering us in our cribs, Josh? How the hell are we going to get rest? You know what I mean? Where I can't even sit in my car without the oppressor coming and dragging me out and putting his knee on my neck. Read them. How the hell you gonna get rest, right? When they locking our Latino brothers and sisters up at the border, but they letting 100,000 Ukrainians come through, and they're going to allow the Ukrainians to keep their visas and not deport them. But if you're Haitian, if you're Cuban, if you're Puerto Rican, guess what? And if you're Mexican, or if you're from El Salvador, or if you're from Ecuador, or if you're from Brazil, or Guyana, or St. Lucia, or Trinidad and Tobago, you can still get deported because we're the children of Israel. And that's why the oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of. We ain't going to get no rest with this beast. We not. This is not our rest. Read on.
Because it is polluted.
America is polluted. America is the home of every foul bird, man. Of every evil, wicked spirit, man. America is the same place, right, where they tell you homosexuality is an alternative way of living. America is the same place where it's all right for your child to change their gender at the tender age of 3. America is the same place where they tell our sisters, think about yourself and abort that baby. America is polluted. Read on.
It shall destroy you.
It will what?
It shall destroy you.
It shall destroy you. If you think you're American and you believe in the American dream, man, and you think you free, white, and 21, it shall destroy you. Read on.
Even with a sore destruction.
Even with a sore destruction. Even with a sore destruction, man. This is why it's important, man, to realize that we got to come out of America. That's why when a black man by the name of Yahweh Shah Mashiach, our King Jesus Christ, let me tell you something, Christ wasn't no punk neither. Christ was a hardcore black man. Like a lot of y'all think when Christ returns, it's going to be all sunshine and rainbows, and it's not. As a matter of fact, let me Luke chapter 19 and verse 27. Now I got to show you. The Bible says to prove all things. A lot of y'all think, when Christ returns, Joe Biden is just going to willingly, and be so gracious to pass that power to Christ. They'd be like, oh, no, Yahweh Shai, you're in charge now. I'm so sorry. No. Why do you think Donald Trump is expanded the Space Force? Why do you think that Russia is always going to the moon and outer space? What do you think they're preparing for? They're preparing for the day of our King to return, that dreadful day. And understand this, and Christ said this. Read what you got. Read Luke chapter 19 and verse 27.
Luke 19 and 27. But those mine enemies.
Christ said, those my enemies. Because Christ has enemies. You know who Christ's enemies are? There are enemies. The enemies of Jesus Christ, Yahweh Shah, are the same enemies that we face. Because Christ is our king. The enemy of Christ is the oppressor. The enemy of Christ is America. The enemy of Christ is these other nations, the Africans, the Asians, the Arabs, the Samoans and Polynesians and Filipinos. Read on.
Which would not that I should reign over them.
He said, which would not I should reign over them. Meaning they're not going to want Christ to rule over them. These other nations ain't going to want to give up their power. Africans are still going to want to hunt down and chop the hands off of albino girls and men and eat them. They're not going to want to give that power up. But Christ said, those my enemies, which would not that I should reign over them. Read on.
Bring hither.
Bring hither, meaning bring them here. I got something for you. Bring them hither. I got something for you, oppressor. I got something for you, Bill, Bob, Fred, Susan, Amber, Walt, Tim. Read on.
And slay them before me.
And slay them before me. That's Christ. These words are written in red. It's Jesus Christ speaking. Got to get up out of here, boy. That's Christ. That's what our King said, man. Christ said, but those my enemies, which would not that I should reign over them, bring them hither and slay them before me. That dreadful day of the Lord is coming, black man, Latino man, First Nation man and woman. World War III is coming. You know how I was going to start? With thermonuclear warfare. Because that was prophesied in the Bible that these things are supposed to happen. Let me get the bedrock. Give me Zechariah 14 and verse 12. Now, let me show you what's going to happen. Go ahead, Ash.
If I could, too. What our people don't understand, you know what I'm saying, about this Bible is that it's our book, which we bring it out all class, sin, we not Hamites, and the oppressor, the devil, the Bible speak of.
Right.
And I just thought about how, like, you read that scripture, and then earlier you read they hunt out steps, like when Christ was walking the earth, like the Esau hunted Christ steps too. I got where Herod, they told him Herod was looking for him, and his response to the oppressor looking for him. And it wasn't, you know what I'm saying, like our people just want us to comply and all that. Like, if I could, I read this one?
Go ahead.
This is the
because
book.
Herod was so heavy about what you're saying, right? And it ties back into ties back to Egypt. Herod was going to do the same thing that the Africans did. Right. Herod was an oppressor. He was of Edom. He was an Abdumian. You know what I mean? Who was a sect of Esau, the devil that the Bible speaks of. Now, go ahead, I got your precept.
This is the book of Luke, chapter 13, Salaki, In verse 31, the same day there came certain of the Pharisees, saying unto him, Get thee out, and depart hence, for Herod will kill thee. And he said unto them, Go ye, and tell that fox, Behold, I cast out devils, and I do cures today, and tomorrow, and the third day I shall be perfected.
Understand this, man. And Christ is so hardcore, man. These words is written in red, right? Christ is like, man, don't worry about me. I'm about my Father's business. Them Uncle Tom Negroes say, man, you better run, man. Herod gonna kill you. Herod was trying to kill Christ for the longest time, man, since he was born. Because they understand something. They understand, man, that we are their enemies. And Christ said, this work got to be what? Read it again.
He said, Behold, he said, Go ye and tell that fox, Behold, I cast out devils.
He said, go and tell that fox. And Christ was, listen, let me tell you something. Christ was a hardcore black man, an austere man. Christ was very serious. He said, go tell him, man, go tell that fox that I cast out devils. Read on.
Come. So, and I do cures today and tomorrow, and the third day I shall be perfected. Keep going.
No, that's it. He said, in the third day I shall be perfected. Meaning Christ said, I'm about to go do what my father, I'm about my Father's business. I'm about my people. I'm going to go heal blacks and Latinos and First Nation men and women.
Right.
Christ, you know what I mean? And it's so to show you that Christ was hardcore, man.
Right.
Christ was hardcore, and he was killed, man. Killed for what? Christ was killed so we can have a second chance to come back to the Most High. These Romans, man, and these wicked oppressors and these heathen nations, they hated our king. And the Uncle Tom Pharisees and Sadducees hated our king too. Hated our king and everything he stood for, man. When our king was only about our God, Yahweh, and only about his people, which is us. Only about us, blacks, Latinos, and First Nation men and women. Now, if I could, can you go to Zechariah 14 and verse 12, Uncle Shaw? Excellent precept too, by the way.
You said 14?
Yeah, go to 14 and verse 12. Let me show you the plague that the Lord is going to bring down, man. Show you why nuclear war has to happen. Yeah, read Zechariah 14 and verse 12, Uncle Shaw.
The book of Zechariah, chapter 14 and verse 12. And this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people.
And this will be the plague where the Lord will smite all the people. This plague right here is about to be the doozy. Read on.
That have fought against Jerusalem.
That have fought against Jerusalem. Because all of these nations have fought against Jerusalem. They fought against blacks and Latinos and First Nation men and women. The Lord said, no sweat, I got something for you. Read on.
Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet.
You ever see the movie Judgment Day, Terminator 2? It's a scene, right, that's powerful, where Sarah Connor is sitting there by the gate and that bomb drops and her flesh, everything is just consuming away. They got that from this Bible, man.
Right.
Same thing with, what's that movie with Will Smith? Independence Day, where the chariots, you know what I mean, and the alien invasion. That's what they trying to prepare for. Go ahead,
If I could, War of the Worlds too.
War of the Worlds. They know, the oppressor know what's coming. And they know they have to fight. But here's the thing they don't know. They're going to lose in an hour. 60 minutes. And to be honest with you, I think Christ is going to play with them for an hour. I think our king and our angels can wipe them out instantly. You know what I mean? But they have to suffer. That's why the Lord told us, man, get in them chariots, you know what I mean, and go to sleep. That's what I'm going to do, Ashwa. Break out them Uno cards, Lord willing. Read on.
And their eyes shall consume away in their holes.
And their eyes shall consume away in their holes. That is a dreadful and terrible way to go out. Your eyes are going to consume and burn away in their sockets, in your flesh. Read on.
And their tongues shall consume away in their mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And it shall come to pass in that day that a great tumult from the Lord shall be among them.
Mm-hmm.
And they shall lay hold, every one on the hand of his neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
And his hand shall rise up against the hand of his neighbor.
And his hand shall rise up against the hand of his neighbor. Meaning, it's going to come a time, man, like, you know what I mean, when the Lord is going to send our king and 200 million nigga angels to come and wipe out these other nations, man. And it's going to happen with thermonuclear warfare, man. That's when our king is going to return. And we're going to rise up against these other nations, man. While the Lord said, I sent for many fishers, and they shall fish men. There's going to come a time where he's going to send for many hunters, and they're going to hunt men. I feel bad for all y'all strong devils out there. I.S.U.P.K going to be like, any of y'all that can lay one finger on me, you free. And ain't none of y'all going to win. I pray you understand that. Now, if I could, right, last scripture. Let me get Revelation 18 and verse 4. This is why the Lord said this, man. Why the Lord said this. The Lord told us in Revelation 18 and verse 4. Let me know when you got it, priest. Come on, go ahead.
The book of Revelation, chapter 18 and verse 4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people.
Lord said, come out of her, my people. Meaning, come out of America. Come out of Babylon. Read on.
That ye be not partakers of her sins.
That ye be not partakers of her sins, man. You're not supposed to be partakers of her sins. We ain't supposed to be no damn homosexuals and no murderers and no drug addicts and drug dealers, man. You don't want to be partakers of her sins. Read on.
And that ye receive not of her plagues.
That ye receive not of her plagues, man. You do not want to receive of the plagues that God is going to send against the oppressor. You see one of them already in the coronavirus, the COVID-19, man. Right. You see it. If I could, one more. Give me Matthew chapter 24 and verse 7. Go ahead, Ash.
If I could, while the oppressor was over here being a damn idiot and didn't want to put a mask on and didn't want to get the vaccine and all that, and he did what we supposed to do, and like you brought out earlier, and tell them put us in the land of Goshen or put us in a separate place or separate ourselves, we could have had our own quarantine and our own situation set up so we didn't die from COVID.
I don't even think we'd have needed a mask, Osh. We'd have been too wild. I think we'd have been good.
You said get Matthew 24?
Matthew 24 and 7. I think, man, we'd have did what the Lord said to do. We'd be too wild. We still here. We still standing. We ain't had no deaths in the UPK. No brother in the UPK, ain't no brother or sister or child in the UPK died COVID. I pray you understand. Let me get Matthew 24 and verse 7, Baba Kishore. We're going to close out with this.
You read it up?
Come.
The book of Matthew chapter 24, verse 7. For nation shall rise against nation.
Our king said, for nation shall rise against nation. Meaning this. Christ is saying, God, nation shall rise against nation, man. Meaning different nations of people. The oppressor is rising up against China. Korea is going to rise up against America. Pakistan just rose up against India. Read on.
And kingdom against kingdom.
Kingdom against kingdom. Kingdom against kingdom. Government against government. These different nations are going to rise up against one another. And these different governments are going to rise up against one another as well. India just fired a missile at Pakistan. They're the same people. Government against government. Read on.
And there shall be famines.
And there shall be famines. You can forget about them gas prices and shortages. You can forget about the bird flu. War. All preaching officer of 50 War was telling me about the bird flu and what was going on with the poultry, man, and the chicken. I mean, the price of chicken and eggs is about to skyrocket, man. I'm telling you, man, that 2-piece ain't $5 no more. It's like $6.50.
Right.
It's famines all across the earth, man. Gas prices going up, food shortages. You know what I mean? Read on.
And pestilence.
And pestilence, disease, COVID-19. Read on.
And earthquakes.
And earthquakes in diverse places. I mean, earthquakes that don't normally happen in certain spots, but you see them now.
Right.
This is why, as Blacks, Latinos, and First Nation men and women, we have to do this. Last scripture. I know I say last scripture. Let me get Zephaniah 2 and verse 1. Show. This is why, as the Lord's chosen people, he told us this. Ain't no questions online, right? Come on, no sweat. You get Zephaniah 2 and verse 1 to close out.
The book of Zephaniah, chapter 2 and verse 1. Gather yourselves together.
Mm-hmm.
Yea, gather together. O nation not desired.
Gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together. O nation not desired. We are the nation that is not desired. The entire earth is not desired in Black man and woman, a Latino man and woman, the First Nation man and woman. But you know who desires blacks, Latinos, and First Nation men and women? Our God Yahweh desires us, man. Our King Yahweh Shah Mashiach desires us. And the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under Commander General Yohanna desires all blacks, Latinos, and First Nation men and women to gather themselves together and come back in this truth. And with that being said, I'm Precinct Officer 1000 Yedai. I look forward to seeing y'all at the Passover in Cocoa, Florida. Understand this, man. Tune in to Commander General Yohanna Black Watch every Monday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. And tune in to Commander General Yohanna every Wednesday. They go live on Wednesdays now, too, man. Commander General Yohanna bring it out so heavy, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. on Mondays and Wednesday. Black Watch, let a Hebrew speak every Monday morning, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., man. 12 show General High, 6 show General Katham Gabal, you know what I mean? And my big brother, man, Precinct Officer of 5,000 Marab, my brother Officer of 500 Iba Hayah, tuned in to Ask Ye the Prophet, 12 show General Mayaka Alaka, you know what I mean, every Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Tune in to Cross the Line Radio tonight with Captain Zaria, Captain Kaibazai, 10 a.m. to 12 a.m. Yeah, 10 p.m. to 12 a.m. Tune in to my big brother, Captain 13,000, you know what I mean, Gadal Hall out there in the West Coast, One West Radio, my brother, Captain 10,000 Cornwall, my big bro, man, Precinct Officer 5 Stacks, number one. You know what I mean? The Flyers, Gadite, and all Israel. My brother, Karatas Officer 500. And with that being said, I'm going to pass the class off to Priest and Officer Ashtawa.
We the I.S.U.P.K, started at 1 West, 120 Fishery Hall, New York, under Commander General Yohanna. Rule for new brothers and sisters. When a new brother and sister comes into the school, they are all under for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to share themselves to the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which a brother and sister will court each other. After the 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes is a commandment. You can find us in the book of Numbers, chapter 18, verse 21, or in the book of Malachi, chapter 3, verses 8 through 10. It means 10th of Hebrew or Mahaishima. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the Treasury Department. Priest fund is a free will offering, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like, upcoming holy convocations. The Passover is next week. It's going to be on Friday, April the 15th. The Mount Akron protect the bulletin board hallway. If any brother wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black boots, shirt, headband, and scarf. With that being said, that module is means to stand. And if Israel, we're going to get one courtesy salute. And if Israel, that module Shabbat. Module, Rock.
Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahshua Barakatham.
Yajim Matam, which means hands down, Star, which means turn. Face the sisters. The module Shabbat for the sisters is your feet at a 45-degree angle. With your head down in the carpet, with your right hand over the left. Over your left hand, when you say Barad, you will smoke the left side of your chest with your right hand. For the visual, we're going to get the sisters one courtesy salute. Ma'am Shabbat, Majin, Barad, Yahweh Shemar, Allah, Ba'Shem Yahshua. Yajim Matal, which means hands down,